This week's episode of The Voice Party is brought to you by Big Boy Raps. Get your car wrapped by some of the most experienced and skilled in the Bay. Big Boy Raps, where the big boys play.
Ladies and gentlemen, listeners all around the world, let me welcome you to The Voice Party. I'm Joaquin Xavier. We got JD, we got Phil, we got Natalie, and our wonderful guest here. Please introduce yourself.
People know me as Uptown, so I just go by that.
All right, Uptown. Welcome to The Voice Party, sir.
Welcome to The Voice Party, man.
Thank you.
Good to finally have you here.
Couldn't wait, man.
How are things been for you lately?
It's cool. I work at Tesla.
Oh, nice.
You know, a few other things too, so things cool.
How did you guys meet? Sounds like there's a story there. You guys know each other.
From a long
time ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's like a lifetime ago, right?
Yeah, seemed like, yeah.
Man, Contra Costa College.
Okay.
He was whooping me in chess. That's how I remember. I started coming back.
I mean, that was only the beginning, and I had only a few tricks up my sleeve, and once he figured that out, it was dunzo for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But aside from that, there was a rap group, and we were all hanging out together, and then we really liked the way Uptown was writing his bars, and we liked talking to him, so we were like, you want to join? You know what I mean? I think that's how it happened, right?
Y'all liked it?
Yeah. You never believed it, but we liked it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we would never have asked you to come on board if we didn't like you. Trust me, nobody was getting paid up in that motherfucker. It was all just like, you know, for the love and the respect, you know? So, but then again, depending on who you asked, like there were certain members that didn't like the work of other members, but like that was all right. As long as there was like 3 people in the group that was like this person here is solid, it's like, you know, you're in. You know, I'm not naming any names, but there were certain people that were kind of snobbish about everybody's work unless you were running with their half of the clique, but that's a story for another day. But that's how we met.
That's how you met.
Yeah.
So you were a rapper. You were writing bars back then?
I mean, I called it poetry. I ain't looking at myself like no rapper or nothing.
Yeah.
See, it was just poetry to me. I thought it was Boosie. For real. I just doing something just to do something.
Yeah.
So.
With like some kind of like, with a track or just
writing?
Just straight up poetry?
Poetry, I just knew how to do it to the beat.
Okay.
Is that something you still do now?
Nope.
No? Oh, yeah?
How long has it been since your last?
Dang, I can't even recall. It's been years.
Yeah.
Long time.
So it's just something you wanted to do at the time. Not something you wanted to pursue.
I just didn't want to be on the streets and stuff. So I say, okay, let me put some poetry together. And I just did what I did. Like, I didn't really care too much.
So I think you recorded a little bit after the group split, right?
Just a little bit. It wasn't really nothing. It was just to do something. I ain't like it though. But you know, everybody that they don't like their own stuff. They're more critical of themselves. So I thought it was weak. Some people was like, hey, that's dope.
Yeah.
Like, for real? I mean, because that ain't really what I wanted to do, you know, and stuff. So
what was what you wanted to do? Film
and acting. Now we can do something like that now.
Yeah,
we get into that.
You talked about you got like a documentary coming.
Yes. I'll give y'all the elevator pitch. It's about board game theory in regards to socioeconomic struggles that I'm dealing with 3 board games: chess, Monopoly, and Go. And it's to describe the plight of our people and just everyone else, and I'm critiquing it with different board games. So 3 episodes for 3 board games, and I'm going to use that to describe like just a number of things. Gentrification. I'm gonna bring out a lot of history on just kings and queens from different nationalities and what it looked like back then versus what it looks like now. And then I'm gonna talk about the rap stuff. I'm gonna talk about biblical different things that seem to parallel with what's going on right now as a prophecy, if you will. So it's a lot of things dealing with that.
That's what the documentary is going to focus on. Huh?
Yeah.
Is that something that you came up with on your own?
Yeah, for a long time with me, JX, and all them, we was playing. I was formulating the idea even then. But I was going to just do 2 board games, just chess and Monopoly. But when I seen somebody playing Go one time at Berkeley Games, I was like, man, what's that? And when they told me the concept of it, even though I don't know how to play it too well, but I grasped it, I was like, okay, so the gist of that game is whoever occupies the most territory wins. So I thought about that, I said, wait a minute, that looked like gentrification right there on a board game. So I just threw it in there, and it matched perfectly. Like Johnny Cocker said, if it don't fit, you must have quit. But that one fit, so can't have quit that.
Yeah.
So I just put it together. 2018, I won a settlement for a fire that happened, me and someone else. And I put that money together, and I paid some brothers some lengthy dollars to put that script together. But it was from me, and just as though I'm being interviewed right now, they interviewed me so they can write it, you know, and then, you know, it came out well.
Wow.
As far as the writing, but now we've filmed, and you gentlemen probably know Nobi.
Yeah, he's been on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's who's gonna be the actual person who filmed.
Filmmaker.
Yeah.
And he's doing a lot of stuff right now. Yeah.
Yeah, Danny Glover, all
Danny
them
Glover.
dudes.
What was that other one? Tech Nine.
Oh, he did Tech Nine?
He did something with Tech Nine. I saw that. Yeah.
Damn, so, okay, so it's cool for Tech Nine back in the Bay, huh?
Yeah. That's.
I mean, the only reason why I bring that up.
I heard when it wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, with
Mac Dre. Yeah, after Mac Dre, he I think they attacked his van, one of his vans back in when Mac Dre was killed. Yeah. He wasn't allowed in the Bay for years.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Nobi flies out there to him though.
Oh.
Because Tech Nine's like, what is in the Midwest somewhere, isn't he?
Yeah, but I know Tech Nine's been doing shows
out here.
there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's, I've seen some. Unless I'm wrong.
All wounds heal with time.
Yeah. Yeah. And he said. He's been public about being someone that was cool with Mac Dre. So I'm sure that had something to do with it.
Yeah, you know, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. So when would we be like? When can we watch this film?
It's gonna be a while because we was been supposed to do it, but I had a homeless situation arise. It's a bunch I'd rather not get into on this, but let's just say that I'm coming out of a lot of it right now, so things are getting in place where I could be able to film and then people will be able to see it. I know it's gonna be good. I know it is because there's rappers that want to be on it. So Mr. Fab, he said definitely. And what's interesting too, like years when I was formulating this idea, I kept seeing a vision of Mr. Fab being on it. We met 2018 and he was just like hella cool. You know, we just hit it off within like 5 minutes, and then I seen it just reaffirm my vision, and it showed me years ago, like E40 and them, 'cause I know them dudes like from way back, and I haven't spoke to them in a long time, but I remember when me and my friend Devereaux, his mama and Sugar T are like, they were like best friends and stuff, so they know each other. Her name is Lexi.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, wow.
You mentioned chess. I'm a big chess fan.
We're gonna have to play. I got my chessboard in the car right now.
Do you really?
She's posted up pictures from what's the name of the website? Chess.com.
Chess.com. That's where I primarily play because you can't play chess by yourself in real life.
Man.
But with I don't know how much you want to share about your idea with king and queen.
It's funny you say that because I was going to actually, in the film, I'm going to be talking about that. So I'll give it just a little bit.
Yeah, don't. Feel free to share whatever.
Now, just does it have to be in chess format or just my philosophy on what I feel?
Yeah, anything.
I kind of compare it to households right now. I think every piece means something. If we're comparing it to just the households that we all grew up in, whether we call it black, Latino, Chicano, whatever, white, if that king is gone, it's like game over. But like B.B. King said, the thrill is gone if the queen is gone. That's how I look at it. So, and like Bill Withers, ain't no sunshine when she gone. So that queen is gone. And if you look at when people get their queen took, look at how they shake. And I'd be like, wow, so there's a psychology, I believe, behind every piece. So for me, the type of mentality that I have at times, JX can attest to this, competitive when I want to be,
yes, absolutely.
But at the same time, being humble too. So they all work together. I look at myself as a prince right now. I don't consider myself a king. There's a more deeper stuff I could say, but I'll say that one for the next time.
I like that. The no sunshine when she's gone, because that's true. Whenever I lose my queen, I'm like, no. I'm like, you know, she has so much power.
And when you compare it to like a life in life, you know, the heartaches.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
People kill themselves over shit like that.
Yeah. Oh, we can use.
You can say whatever you want.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So, yeah, that's deep. I could go into some other stuff, but I ain't gonna do it right.
Do it. Or what's you I hear you mention elevator pitch a lot. Like as far as like, well, first off, I appreciate you reaching out to us, because usually we're hunting for people to put on here, and you know, I feel like when you gave me the elevator pitch, man, I was like, there's so much there. Like I didn't, you know, what's something we didn't cover from that you mentioned?
Okay, pawns, right?
Yeah.
When you play chess, pawns are very powerful, because people, they look at the game and they be like, okay, what's the best piece or whatever? So I have to break it down. Okay, the king, if that piece is gone, the game is over. So that's the most powerful piece, the most desired piece, because I don't want to get it mixed up. Most people think it's the queen. No, the queen is the most desired piece, but she's not the most powerful piece, because without the king, the game is over. But the most misunderstood, or what's the proper term to use for this one?
Undervalued?
That's a good one. Undervalued piece would be the pawn. Oh, here it is. Underestimated piece is the pawn. So, because we know, for those who are chess players, like, you know, so when it makes it to the other side, the technical term is a promotion. I call it a graduation, you know. So when you graduate to the next level, you can pick any piece except two pieces, a pawn and a king. But I want to let y'all in on something, because I'm starting to now heat up. I'm starting to turn Super Saiyan 1. You know what I mean? So when you look at the board, I have a different way. They say put the queen on her color. So if it's a dark queen, you put her on a dark color.
Right.
But see, I know a lot of history of chess. So there's a book called Birth of a Chess Queen, and a lot of people don't know about it. They didn't know that the queen piece didn't even exist.
Write that down, Natalie.
Okay.
Right.
The queen piece didn't exist until about maybe the 15th, 16th century. She was introduced on the board, and you know all the fancy moves that she can do. She wasn't allowed to do that. So the correlation that I look at it is, and I don't want to be offensive, repulsive, or repugnant because you're a woman here, but I'm going to be just real. You know what I mean? Now, the feminist girl power, I don't need a man, all I need is my college degrees, career. I think some of that may stem from, if you look at the history on how women were treated. So I noticed this I don't want to sound, you know, off and all that, but I'm just telling it like what I see. Just like in the documentary when you asked, because there's going to be a little bit of this in there. So there's a competitiveness, because that king usually is missing on that chessboard, which would represent to me that household. You know, so when that king is plucked out, it's not that technically the game is over if we're looking at it from this particular version of chess. This more of the Persian version. Dang, that kind of rhyme, you know, the Persian version. So but it was played a lot different. So again, going back to that queen piece, she didn't exist until like maybe the 15th, 16th century. She was restricted. I'm gonna use those words so people reviewing this, they can look at it and be like, okay, I like how this dude speaks. So she was restricted from certain movements, which seems to replicate what's actually been happening for years. After certain empires got in rule and it changed the rules of the game, or the truth rather, and turned it into a game, which I'm talking about a game called chess. So eventually she became empowered to be able to do the fancy moves. But here's the twist, how I turned it back. And this is just for mental exercises for the men who have been abused and different things by, you know, the women. So again, I don't want to, when people review this, I don't want them to sound like I'm a chauvinist individual, but Because it's happened to me. I've had that situation happen to me. That's why I'm bringing it up.
And it's happened to many men too. Yeah.
Like 50 Cent. Many men. You know,
Many.
So what if perhaps we switch the colors back to what it was supposed to be in the beginning? Because you know how in chess, right? You can castle king side, you can castle queen side. But I just want to, when I say king side, I want to also introduce, I have a little brand. I only got one hoodie, but it's called Castle King Side. And just a little thing I came up with. I'm going to show y'all after this, after I turn my phone back on. But I put the king back to do what he was supposed to do, and which we look at the queen, what she can do now. I looked at and went deeper into my own thoughts. I'm like, okay, if this was my game, how would I run it? So I would make the king be able to do all those fancy moves, because we look at most societies, since chess is a game of war, strategy, and all of this different stuff, kings were the warriors. This isn't to belittle any women or anything, but I'm just saying like the way they used to be. I know it's a new day and time, but the women are good with children, because there's certain things that men could do, women can't do, vice versa.
Right,
you know,
right.
we just things, they stronger than us. That's just how it is. We can't do certain things. We just can't. So with that board game, I look at it like, well, hey, look, if the king was able to do what he was supposed to do, this symbolizing what's in society for men today, I think a lot of more women would be happier. But they've turned it into this competition, this battle of the sexes or whatever. And I'm an etymologist, so I go into words. So you go into that word, sex or whatever, it comes from the Latin word six. So it's a big major confusion. I don't want to get too deep because I might lose people on this podcast. They'd be like, come on, man. You know, because most people ain't up on that level like that.
Yeah. The origins of words is a tricky thing.
Yeah. Like, for instance, I just throw a few out there. Black.
You closer to the mic.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So look up black, right? Look up the etymology of the definition of the word black and watch what you will find. You'll find out that it means white, bleach, colorless, pale, white, bright, albino, shining, as opposed to the darker color or what they might call African Americans. And when you look at deep enough, black and white is actually legal statuses, and they've played the trickery like.
Doesn't black mean dead in some like?
In law, yeah. When Obama, when he came into the presidency, 2009, they asked him a question. It was like, well, hey, what is it like to be the first black president? He was like, well, hey, you know, see, for the American people, Senator McCain, you know, I be talking and stuff. So he basically broke it down, was like, hey, you know, I don't wish to be called black because black is a legal status. It says something like that. And I remember
that, yeah.
And they cut it off the air. They like, And I don't even have to say why they cut it off. I don't have to go and all that. Y'all, everybody awake now.
Yeah.
So I call it the Illuminati. The Illuminati is awake, or it's open now. You know, that all-seeing eye.
Yeah.
You know, one of these.
Yep.
So
yeah, I've read about that. When you classify someone as black in law, it means dead. So it's easier to.
Yeah.
There's stuff. There's the weird like the Vatican has some weird shit to do with that.
Yeah.
Where
So it's a game. It's a trick. I think each and every warrior, like the Tupacs, the Black Panthers. I mean, that's some old deep stuff. I'd rather not get into at this point.
We could do another episode about that.
Yes.
I'll go little deep. I don't want them coming after me.
Yeah.
You know.
But you're talking about pertaining to chess.
So chess.
Yeah.
The king. This is for me personally.
Right.
People, they might disagree. That's fine. That's you know, you Bobby Brown. That's your prerogative. But I look at it like if the king would be able to do those moves that the queen could do, the queen wouldn't have to work so hard to be able to do those moves. And I'm talking about like the job situation where it's like a imbalance now. They've turned it into this big charade, the male-female thing. Who's the best? And it's like, you know, it's like the chessboard. You take either one of those pieces off the board, the two power pieces, the king and the queen, and it ain't no game.
There's no balance.
Right.
Yeah.
Anybody who know about ancient Kemet or Egypt, it's ma'at, it's the balance, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's imbalance when you try to put one against the other, and they've done a wonderfully terrible, evil job of doing and succeeding in just that, you know, as I look at it personally. You know, others may look at it different, you know, but that's just me.
Yeah.
So then, as far as the pawns are concerned, if there's still a king on the board, this is my game now, chess.
Yeah.
When the pawns make it through, since there's already a king on the board, if he happens to graduate on the other side, then he becomes a prince, and he's waiting in line just in case that king or his father gets captured. Then you take that off and you could put the king back on the board. So it's almost like you never lost one.
Wow. I didn't know that about the...
No, that's my game. That's why I came up with that. I made that part up. You know what I mean?
It really does work like that, though, where the pawn can advance into it.
Really?
And typically you would do queen because she has the most power. But, yeah.
But that's an interesting concept right there, to just kind of create another king. That makes it harder to win the game, because if the object is to capture a king, how are you going to capture two of them? You know? You should patent that and sell it. Like Uptown's chess.
Now,
you know?
Think about that. Watch when y'all replay this interview. Think about what you just said. You got it. That's checkmate right there.
Yeah.
Even though the game ain't over, but that's what I wanted.
Well,
what you just said.
That's what, like having two kings on both sides of the board, right? That's what it would be.
Either one.
Yeah.
And then considering tying that in like a shoelace to what has happened to our people specifically when they say black or African American. And how anytime we try to get that promotion or that graduation, it's always something there waiting for us. You know, to either, if they like you a little bit, you got to go through a whole nother chess game to get to where we once were when we were on whatever side of the world we were on, or if it's the original Moors or whoever. It's just...
The Moors that were here before, like, a lot of other races, right? Yeah, I remember hearing about that, yeah.
So the Inca heads, a lot of the Mayans, Incas, Aztecs, Olmecs, Toltecs, and again, I don't want to be sounding help the smirkers, but there's facts and then there's beliefs. So the facts show that, hey, these was what they call, I want to use black, since we now...
Well, we all came from Africa. Yeah.
So that sort of thing. But there's been the dividing point of, hey, you know, you this. It's just like slavery and stuff. And this kind of relates to chess in a sense. Like when they say Jamaicans, Haitians and stuff, a lot of us were brought from West Africa. And I'm going to throw this in there because I know that there's also Israelite listeners too. If you look at the old maps of 1747, since we all got Google and all that, type up maps, Kingdom of Judah 1747, you will see that where Ghana, Togo, Benin, Nigeria, especially in the Ghana, Togo area, it said Kingdom of Judah. You know, so that area, and I wish I wouldn't have turned my phone off. I could show you my royal cloth, like I trace my roots back. So, you know, to what they call the Volta region of Ghana. So I'm known as an Ewe or an Ewe. Some people pronounce it Ewe. And so when you know that history there, a lot of the kings and the priests are from there, which they know in the English as Judah or Yahuda in the modern Hebrew, or Yudah and stuff like that. So it's tied in with the Moors that was in Spain 700 years, and we got eventually out of there. But they have like the Latin languages mixed in with the Hebrew, and they call it Ladino and stuff. So it's
a lot of history that's not really it's not talked about as much. But it's like everyone's like it's proven all, like everyone that gets that 23andMe, there's like some African in there,
right?
And it's all our history. The history of civilization comes from Africa.
So you look at the pyramids in ancient Kemet, aka Egypt, and you look at down in South America, and even through the Americas, they still got pyramids in Mississippi, and they just covering it up with dirt. And
Arizona
stuff.
up here, there's a lot of stuff under there, and like that's pyramid-y.
So there's a connection with everybody. You know, we connected like Wi-Fi. You know, we just choose to turn it off because we've been, how can I say, mentally programmed, if you will. Some won't, but hey, that's fine, to keep and breed competition. You know, now my nickname is Uptown, standing for unifying people, though opposition would not. You know, so it's a whole Machiavellian, the West Side Tupac thing, but cool Torah, Ma'at balance to it, you know, type of thingy there. And it's for the rights. And then so just the last part of that game, so when you bring the king pieces, like if you lose one, you'll still have a king on the board. And then like, if you know science and genetics and stuff, we're the DNA of our parents. So if a father or mother passes, then it's time for that individual to step up, but they got to take the knowledge. Or if we're running a relay race, when people pass that baton, just think of the generations that we've lost with the people, especially, I don't know what to call African American, whatever. You know, like if many nationalities still have their baton to be passed, the baton is history, the truth,
right,
the ancient origins of the culture. Just imagine
unbiased history,
right?
Yeah.
So for an individual like myself and many that have come before me and many that are going to come after, you know, they're going to have to step up that baton. They're going to have to run extra laps. So I look at that as knowledge and that understanding, because you can understand, but you'll still be under something.
Yeah.
But when you understand and you overstand, that's how I do it. I understand, I overstand. You know, so these words are deep, and when you really speak, you really manifest. Like I'm deep into that and stuff. Yeah. That manifestation, what you speak. So just imagine this, and this is no disrespect. I don't, you know, first podcast, man, get this sucker off of here or something. You know what I mean? Who he think he is? But I get it now. Throw an etymology out there real quick. Did you, ladies and gents, know that the word nice, if you look up the etymology of the definition of the word nice, it means stupid, dumb person. Yeah. So when they used to say nice guys finish last, so I'm not a nice guy, you know, but that doesn't mean that I have to be an anus either, you know what I mean? Yeah. But just words. So I'm very, because JX is sitting before me, so I had to change that. Now I'm very careful on what I say. Yeah. I used to, at one time, didn't have too much of a filter, but it's just like the Matrix with Neo and stuff, when he was Morpheus and stuff, like the Matrix and stuff, that voice, that Lawrence Fishburne voice. So when you unplug and you start getting a bunch of knowledge, you know, you start Harlem shaking, because you've been programmed with just so much stuff, and now we got YouTube, so there's an effect that actually happens when you become unprogrammed. So the mind is powerful. It's like you can think of something and you can bring it to you depending on what's going on with you within the inside. So I'm very deep on that type of stuff. So I manifested a lot of what I wanted, and then certain things in the universe, omniverse or multiverse, they have to, you know, get out the way if they're not a part of that plan. Just like the higher ups will get rid of an individual if you try to mess up their plan. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about this with one of our last guests, how words have power. Right? You know, there's a little unknown history to meanings, and it's like, why do we call this that? Yeah. Or why is this a put down? Or why is, you know?
I question everything. Yeah. Like everything, and it sounds like a schizo or something like that, but even question that word. Where does that word come from? Schizophrenia, where does bipolar, these words, where I'm at, I'm just going to express, people will catch on later, where I'm at mentally, this is not our original tongue. No. So when they used to say, oh, you're this attention deficit disorder, well, where's the origin of that word come from? Attention, where does deficit come from? Where does disorder come from?
Like another word, church, has a weird meaning behind it.
Church? Yeah. Oh yeah, you Kirky, witchcraft, sorcery. I'm very aware of that.
It was a goddess that would bring people and then eat them. Mm-hmm.
So like what's his name? Say from East Oakland, one of the elders. What's his name? Richie Rich. When he was like, if you're scared, go to church. You know what I mean? But I ain't going up in there. You break down the layers of this imperialism and stuff, and then it's like an onion. Yeah. You peel hella onions, and the effect of an onion is like Bismarck say, the vapors. When them vapors hit you, the effect of, you might not literally be crying, but the vapors are so strong you'll tear up. Yeah. Some people, they'll kill themselves. They'll literally murder themselves because what they thought and held dear to what to be true, they'll find that's a total lie. Yeah. You know, and they be like, dang, so my foreparents taught me this, and they come to find out it's a lie.
Wow.
And that's why I've been for years on that deep stuff. As they
And
call
you're still
that deep
on that,
shit.
and you're still on it, discovering new stuff all the time.
I don't think it will end. I don't think this is like a Mario Brothers game would never get into a King Koopa at the very end. You just keep fighting replica Koopas and you never get to the end. You just keep going and going and going and going. And it just seemed to never end because you think you've mastered something, and you may have in certain regards, but then now you got to go to that next level. They push you off to another one, or yourself or your mental, then you just keep climbing. And then you seem to be more of a weird person because most people are on a level where they've been densely programmed. So
Yeah.
you start to sound like either a crazy person like V for Vendetta, are you a crazy person? Or something like that. And then you just be like, dang.
I'm gonna ask you this right now while you're here. I know we're like out of time. We started a little late, but I would like to have you come back and we could dig deep into that.
Let's go. Let's do it. Like Nike on everything.
Yeah, because that's a whole like. I went one time in like the rabbit hole of all this different stuff and like the origins of why like judges wear black.
I'm on that too.
And the whole bank, why they call bank and
yep, the riverbank, Latin
Yeah,
word,
like-
bench. If you
Yeah.
go to the courthouse,
right.
you know, approach the bench, that means a bank.
The worship of Saturn and all that.
Yep.
Yeah, the
I'm
cube.
up on that.
The worship of cube.
Yeah.
It's some of it sounds it's like too crazy, but then you actually do research like, oh shit.
Yeah.
There's something to this. Yeah.
It's real deep.
Yeah. Some scary shit too.
I don't think conspiracy can even hold that. That's the light end of the deal.
Yeah.
If it's even the deal you willing to make or not. Some people made the. I'm gonna throw this one at you before we go.
Yeah.
Birth certificate. I'm sure you know about that too.
Don't the Vatican has something to do with that? Every birth certificate?
Look at all our licenses, which are really merely privileges. Why are our names written in all capital letters?
Yeah. Yeah.
When it violates the rules of English. I know you deal with English, the English grammar, so I know
Right.
you know that.
No,
so-
yeah.
And there's a
it's
lot
very-
of it. There's some terms on the back of them too that say something about official use.
Mhm.
I forgot, but I remember. Yeah, it's been a while.
There's a way to operate in this system. You know, when he was going through talking, when Morpheus and Neil was going through that training program, when he
Yeah.
was like businessmen, doctors, lawyers and stuff, the very same people we're trying to save, or however he said it, they will be the people that come at you. Or it was some way he worded it, but basically, it's like you try to wake people up. And now I'm not even just trying to wake people up, you know, because hell, the people's Illuminati is already awoke. They just don't know where to look and put the pieces together because they see there's something wrong with the situation. You know what I mean? And that's for any nationality. Notice I didn't use the term race. I would challenge or respectfully ask the people out there who's listening, you know, look up those terms race, you know, because to me, I look at it like a competition. So I don't like to use that word because it'd be like, you know, when people say, okay, you this or you that, when it's the context like I was in San Francisco yesterday. I went out to Pier 39. It was a Caucasian or Latina or something like that was calling a sister or aka black woman, African American woman, whatever you want to call it, the N-word. And I have it on my I call it Senstagram, my Senstagram. And I posted a few of the little videos, but as I step back, if this was chess, I pull my bishop back and just peep the scenario and just be like, dang, what if these words that we will murder over don't even mean a lick of nothing when you trace its origin, which if you trace that word, it's not really what people think it means, you know, and it's a whole deeper meaning, but at the same time, simple.
Yeah.
Same thing,
Yeah.
simple stuff. That word actually was Niger.
Niger.
And, you know, and they couldn't pronounce
The
it.
Dutch didn't pronounce it right.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and that all it just means is dark.
Dark. Yeah. Because negro in Spanish just means dark.
Oh,
And there's another case of folks not being able to pronounce that right. You know, negro. You mean nagger?
Yeah.
Neck. You know, like
right.
Yeah.
people not getting it.
It's deep, man.
It's a lot, man. We could do a lot of other episodes on that. Sorry we're out of time, man, but I want to get you so you could plug where people can reach you. because people listen, then they tend to reach out to the guests. That's happened many times before.
Y'all think somebody gonna listen to this?
Yeah.
They gonna reach out?
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, we
It
have
happens,
listeners,
man.
and somebody's gonna get interested.
One of our recent guests was reached out for some opportunity that I guess is gonna turn into a different career for him. I mean, I'm just saying that's like it's happened. So
Cool.
People, or the thing is also people just reach out, who may be interested in,
learning from you, having a conversation, asking questions,
a lot of this. So
that's fine.
If you want people to reach out to you,
yeah.
Where can they find you?
I just hope the wrong people don't reach and be like,
I can't control that.
got it.
No.
We can't guarantee.
We can't control. But like, if somebody wants to get in contact with you or learn more about this or learn more about your upcoming project, maybe they want to contribute something.
Yeah. Instagram or Instagram. You could.
It's Instagram.
AFAISKING, or Afa is King.
Afa is King, yeah.
And then they can look and they'll see this, Tupac peanut ball head you see on there, so. Yeah. You'll see me and they reach. I'm very skeptical because all these different Bitcoin people be reaching.
Oh yeah,
the spammers and the scammers.
Yeah, that's a whole different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get a lot of those too all the time. Hey, I can help you invest in this and that.
I block. I click on them.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, unless I'm bored, I want to fuck around with them. I can have my fun. Yeah.
I get some. Would you like us to promote your podcast? Sign up with us.
Yeah.
Or would you like us to give you a promotional opportunity? And I'm like, well, no.
But yeah, again, this has been awesome talking about this, and we'll have you back.
Thank you.
Later down, and we can maybe dig into this a little bit more.
I don't mind. I just don't want nobody, to think like, oh, he trying to be the black messiah, because again, that word, I can't be a black messiah. Yeah, because it don't mean what people think it means.
For sure.
So
yeah.
Like, how deep does that rabbit hole, snake hole, gopher hole? It just hella holes in their doctrine. I'll shoot through them every time. So
definitely. Well, man, thank you again for coming out, and we're gonna close this out.
Oh yeah, sure, for sure. Well, thank you again. I mean, I don't mean to just echo what he said, but I think I speak for everybody here when I say that we've enjoyed the time. We'd love to see you back on the show, listeners. Thank you for listening. And that's the Voice Party, and we're out.